Hi, I'm Jeremy McGovern, and I'm the Conference Director for the International Hoof-Care Summit. And I want to welcome you to another live Q&A featuring one of our summit speakers. And thrilled my guest today, Lee Olsen. And Lee, you're giving us a good example. It's not all about work.
That's right. It isn't all about work. I hope everybody's enjoying their day and is having a good start to their 2023.
Yeah. Where are you off to right now, Lee?
All right, now I'm rodeoing with my beautiful bride, Jamie. Say hi. We are headed from South Texas to Denver. She's trying to make the FR this year barrel racing, so we're going to all the rodeos.
Oh, well, I'll wish her luck. Okay.
Thank you.
So, of course, if you've been to the summit before, you've probably seen Lee in a few different capacities, and we're thrilled Lee is coming back with Mustad USA this year. And I'll go in a little bit of reverse here, Lee. Could you tell us about your 20-minute presentation about helping that underperforming performance horse?
Sure. Yeah, I'm really excited for that presentation, mainly because that's what we work on every day. We have a haul-in practice and a multi-farrier practice, I guess, and pretty much what people bring us are struggling horses. And it doesn't matter if you're in a similar situation as I am, or strictly a vet clinic, or strictly working on sound performance horses. These are all things that will apply to you, and just things that we've picked up on over the years and that have helped us and made breakthroughs with horses. And ultimately, it's so satisfying to me to get to work on those horses, because I want to work on the ones that are struggling. I want to make a difference in horses' lives. That's truly what motivates me. Money does some, I guess, but making a difference truly gets me out of bed in the morning. And when I don't, it keeps me up at night.
Yeah. And this is going to be on Tuesday. It's in the afternoon, starting about 3:15. These are our hoof care product knowledge classrooms, and I'm super excited that Mustad USA is back, but also that they're going to have you come and provide some really essential information like this.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Mustad is so good for giving back to the industry. I'm just so glad to be a part of it. And my goal for that presentation is that I want to simplify it. Ultimately, what you're trying to do in that situation is there's a problem, right? So you have to, it's like putting a puzzle together. You've got to simplify the pieces of how to put it together. And really, it's not that complex when you start breaking it down. The hard part is finding out what exactly is the smoking gun. What's the problem? So there's a variety of ways that you can do that, but you need to turn your indicators on as soon as the phone call comes in. How that client is talking to you is important. What they're saying is important. Even if they don't know a lot about horses, they're going to know a lot about when that horse struggles and when he's good. And if they're an experienced horseman, then you can get loads of information from them. Going to the vet, the prescription he gave you, what he told you he thought he saw, depends on your relationship with that vet. There's a lot of factors there. And then most importantly, what you see in that horse. There's what you can see is crucial in that situation, because all I'm trying to do is get that horse back to normal. If I can just get that horse into a normal open-heeled shoe, that's a win for me. It's not always the case when they're too far gone, but you've got to have that mindset, in my opinion, because it's not normal. Something's not normal because something is broken, something is wrong. So you've got to use appliances, you've got to use modifications, you've got to make shoes, modify shoes, you got to do something, pads, bar shoes, all this stuff, with the goal of making that normal, is my goal anyway. So that's when I've had success with those horses, is when you can get it to where God intended it to be. That's when that horse goes, ah, thank you. So I think that when you're looking at the foot and say it's your typical negative PA, you've got to find a way to get it up and get it normal. And then once you get it normal, yes, it's a prosthetic and you've got the horse to where he feels good, but you want to get him growing healthy so that you can get him out of that stuff too. So it's a process, but it's going to be a great presentation. I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I should say, for those of you joining us, if you have a question for Lee about his work, about his presentations, feel free to type those in. You can type those into the Q&A field here on Zoom or in the chat field, and I'll let Lee know your question. And, you know, something you had mentioned, Lee, is working with horsemen versus, and I think because of COVID, we're seeing a lot of people get into horses that maybe don't have that background. And of course, you work with a lot of high-level horsemen, Chris Cox, who's coming to the summit. But let's talk about those newbies, those people who aren't as seasoned. When you want to get into what might be troubling their horse and they're not strong on communicating and knowing exactly what the issue is, do you have any go-to questions you like to ask?
Oh, go-to questions. Like, I think no matter what their level is, the conversation should always, right after, hello, how you doing? How's the kids and all that stuff, has to be, how's your horse doing? And if that client says, good, well, you need to probe a little bit, because like, if it's good and fine and dandy, well, so many times you'll find out 6 months later, it's like, well, that horse was having problems 6 months ago. It's like, well, why didn't you tell me instead of just saying he was good? That is why it's important to watch those horses walk up. When you get a newbie client, you can ask them how their horse is doing, but if they don't know, you really need to be watching that horse. Watch them when they're resting is key. Watch them when they're walking, watch them when they're trotting. And the lines get crossed all the time because farriers don't like being told what to do by the vet, right? And then farriers jump all over the vet's job too by diagnosing things and stepping on their toes. So that's a fine line, but you need to watch that horse so that you can help them. You don't need to be stepping into the vet's realm saying this horse has this or this horse has that. My takeaway is just figuring out, how is that horse doing? And then you should do it after you get done shoeing too, because there's been several times where we've done our best job, we're heroes, and the horse worst thing started. And so then you pull him back in the barn and thank God that he didn't go home, and you get him fixed up. And it's working on struggling horses has its drawbacks, but it's got a lot of benefits too.
Okay. And of course, another big part of what Mustad USA is bringing to the summit is a special hands-on session, and that's going to be Tuesday morning, January 24th. There's two sessions, one at 8:30 to 9:30, and then 10:30 to 11:30. And Lee, you'll be helping out with that. What does Mustad have planned for us?
Well, it's going to be pretty cool. There's going to be Adam Barnhart, Doug Corey, Blaine Chapman, and myself. So you're going to have 2 English farriers and 2 Western farriers, and some of us dabble in all of it. But we're just going to have stations, and you can rotate around and we can work on whatever you want to. There's going to be modifications to different pet setups that we use, and just kind of whatever you want to work on. It'll hands-on private time with people has always been my favorite part. So I would advise showing up early and making sure you don't miss that, because that Doug Corey, Blaine Chapman, Adam, they're brilliant, and they're all there for you. So I will be too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that personal time, whether it's at the Mustad booth or at this hands-on, it's great to be able to get that advice for products we're using every day.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the whole take home, is that people that are using them every day. So I think anytime you're getting advice from someone that does it every day, that's where you want to be.
Yeah. So Lee, you got your jobs. You got your jobs with Mustad USA. You got these presentations, but you got a lot of time for other networking, education. What are you looking forward to at the summit?
Well, that's my favorite part. There's so many brilliant farriers just hanging out in the crowd that aren't on the podium or doing a presentation, that if you don't walk away from that learning something, you weren't paying attention. The presentations are brilliant. I mean, you've got some of the best in the world up there. But I really think that just getting there, you really can't explain it until you've been there. I don't even know that I've even told you this before, Jeremy, but a long time ago, about 12 years ago. So I wouldn't advise my path of how I started to be a farrier, but I just started to shoe my own horses so I could save money. And then pretty soon, or you can make a lot of money doing this. So I started, and pretty soon I had a full book of business, but didn't get to charge very much. They to the summit, and I don't remember what year that was, but it changed my life. I met my number one mentor, Grant Moon, and it was mind blowing, really. And what it did, though, is it exposed me to what is really out there. And then after that, I got into the AFA and I went through the certification process. And learning is one of those things that if you ever stop, you're going backwards. So you might as well just keep going forward. So going to events like the summit, it's truly life changing. And there's people that want to be more hands-on or competition to please them, and that is important, but it takes all kinds. And the summit, I feel like it connects a lot of dots, and you really can't explain it unless you've been there. And if you're in the hoof care industry, I highly advise that you go.
Oh, thank you for the kind words, Lee. And I think that is true, is looking at farrier events, there's so many events and there's great educational opportunities. The hard thing to plan for is who are you going to meet and who can you connect with that might be that mentor, be that, I guess, that hero for you down the road when you're struggling with a problem.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So just like Grant, I started off meeting him there and watching all his videos, of course, like a lot of people do. And then all of a sudden I'm hiring him to come help me at my house and did that, I don't know, 6-8 times probably now. And he's changed my life, and now we're buddies and we call to visit. So, and just other connections are just like that in the farrier industry. And it all starts with getting together, getting out of your shell, making a gap in your schedule and being willing to go get out there and meet some people. But I mean, when you look down your list of presenters, I mean, you've got Tim Shannon, Blaine Chapman, Harry Serio, Hans, Ramon, Simon Moore, Stuart Murr, Dave Farley, Bobby Menker, Terry Stever, I mean, and more. And I mean, it's truly one of the greatest events in the world.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Lee, I think people, when they come to the summit, they can get some advice from you about Mustad products or what you're talking about with performance horses. But also, I'll tell you guys, if you're watching this, if you want some advice on how to run your farrier business like a business, there's no better person to talk to at the summit than Lee. So definitely make time, get by that Mustad booth, get to those sessions early. Mustad's going to be giving away some t-shirts, so make sure to get there before those are gone. And Lee, I appreciate you. You gave us a great lesson today. Again, it's about the work, but it's also finding that balance with your family, and you're doing it right.
Well, thank you very much. And I'd also like to say, don't miss the church service Thursday at 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's a great point. We have a devotion set at 7 a.m. It'll be in the main room. That's the general session room at the Duke Energy Center. So thanks for reminding us about that, Lee. And hey, I'll look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I hope you can all make it.
All right. Thank you, Lee. All right.
Yep. See ya.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And if you have any questions, let us know. You can reach us here at the office. Go to our website, AmericanFarriers.com. You can find all of our contact information there. Any questions you have about the summit, how to get around, things like that, just let us know and we'll be happy to help you. Lee, again, thanks. Good luck to Jamie, and looking forward to seeing everybody in Cincinnati in 2 weeks from today. All right, take care.